The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
We back. Yes, we back. The hockey season, right there in a couple of hours. Man, oh man, I feel like myself. Go Canucks go. Can I get a go Canucks go, Trevor? Just say it, okay? I know you're like a dad now. Just say it.
Go Canucks go!
We ain't podcasters, man. We fans.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey. Well, we never went anywhere. Canucks hockey is back, baby. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome as well to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, also a Canucks writer currently with a Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks, because it is your Canucks every damn day. We're part of that Locked On Podcast Network. They're doing the most for sports fans across the world. And for our show, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Make sure you go subscribe and like on YouTube. And on the podcast side, go follow us and leave a good old 5-star review. Because we're not here without you, but we're also not here without the sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. If you're looking for tickets tonight, go download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Kyle, it was about 6 years ago today that you and I were hanging out at the Dondo's Art Lab, the Burnaby Gardens edition, and watching Elias Pettersson not only score his first NHL goal, but end up on Pornhub in the same night. What a time to be alive. And lo and behold, here we are 6 years later, still podcasting about your Vancouver Canucks. And again, talking about Elias Pettersson, because the Canucks season really hinges on whether or not only can he bounce back, but can he be an MVP caliber player? No pressure. We'll talk about that to kick off today's show. We'll also talk about some other secondary things that the Canucks season hinges on, and we'll also make some bold Canucks predictions as well. And as always, we'll try to get to your comments towards the end of the show, because again, we're nothing without you. But before we do all that, let me introduce my co-host. He's looking way sexier than me because he's rocking the Canucks jersey. Kyle Bowen, what's going on, brother?
I just blacked out, man. I didn't pay attention to one thing you just said. Why? Because I'm focused on the game. One game at a time, okay? And it all starts tonight. That's something else. It's a beautiful time. And, I'm getting comments on the jersey. Am I too old to rock a jersey? That's a common sports question asked to those who continue to talk about sports. And, man, oh, man, I just want to let the people know, man, I'm always going to be a fan first. And 31 and a half years old, I'm still rocking jerseys. But I might get the name on the back. I don't care, man. I don't care. Because I'm loyal, man. Loyal to the West Coast bias. And I'm hopeful and I'm dreaming. And Beggsy. So many things to talk about. Pettersson to talk about. But off the jump, man. Come on, man. You got to always ask this question when it's this time of year. Is this the year? Is it going to happen? Are we going to win a Stanley Cup in like 8 or 9 months? Are we finally going to be happy? Let me know.
Yeah, I'll save that for the bold predictions part of the episode, but I'll say this, and every dayers know the Canucks got a 3-year window right now to win it all. I'm not sure if it's going to be this season. I'm not sure if it's going to be next season or the season after that, but I do believe that within the next 3 years, your Vancouver Canucks will win a Stanley Cup. And hey, it all starts tonight, man. You can only take it one game at a time. That's what the players always say, whether it's October or whether it's April, May, or even June. Been a while since we've seen some June hockey here in Vancouver. But mark my words, your Vancouver Canucks will be in the Stanley Cup Finals, and this time they'll take it home for the best goddamn fans in the world. Yeah. And Kyle, one of the main reasons they're going to do it.
You are all over the place. You are ready for the game. You're delusional, just like everyone. It's a crazy time. Just exactly what you just did is a breakdown of how my brain is going into this season. Okay, it's like, can we win the cup? Sure, but like this has to happen and this has to happen, and we have a lack of experience. And then at the very end of my spiel of a little bit of pessimism, I'm like, you know what? We're winning the cup. we win the cup. Like June's coming and we're going to play in the cup. We're going to play for the cup. And a big reason for that is because I truly do believe Pettersson is coming back ASAP. and showcasing to the world that he's one of the best players in hockey. And Quinn Hughes already one of those guys. These guys are more experienced. I just feel as if a lot of teams can't match up to the Vancouver Canucks when, again, those two things happen. Quinn Hughes is one of the best players in hockey, and Pettersson, the alien, returns, and he's one of the best players in hockey. And he's going to win the Hart Trophy, man. What?
Wow, there we go.
He's
We're almost
my bad. Correct myself.
Conn Smythe. All right. Well, we're getting into the bold predictions right off the hop. So Kyle's saying the Canucks are winning the Stanley Cup in 2025 with Pettersson as your Conn Smythe winner. And I'm giddy about what's to come. And there's almost I feel like a bit of a false sense of security because look at last October, right? We were nowhere near giddy, right? The Pettersson contract drama, the Garland trade request drama, going up against the Edmonton Oilers, who on paper were a much better team, and the Canucks season. And the expectations for the season seemingly turned around overnight with how they thumped the Oilers back in early October last season. Now, again, to circle back to Elias Pettersson, right? The Canucks season and whether they win the Cup hinges on whether or not he can return to his MVP form. And as you know, there are a lot of doubters in this market. You listening, you might be one of them. Based on not just the fact that they had a bad playoffs, but as we mentioned on yesterday's episode, go check that out wherever you listen to podcasts. He wasn't just bad for a stretch of games. He was bad for about 40 games, right? Combined the end of the regular season and the playoffs. Now, obviously bothered by the tendonitis, wasn't playing with elite wingers, and was in his own head a bit as well, I would say. And, one of the interesting things I saw about the preseason, and I put a little bit of stock in preseason. I won't say zero stock, but very little stock. But one of the things you notice in preseason, Pettersson was kind of throwing the body around, which for a star player is a bit of an odd thing in the preseason. But I really do think this guy is dialed in and ready to go right away. And again, Kyle, as we've mentioned, heading into opening night tonight, the guy's going to be playing with arguably the two most talented wingers he's played with since he had a prolonged stretch with Miller and Besser.
Or, since that time, he had a long stretch with Andrei Kuzmenko. Let's be real.
But yet Ilya Mikheyev there as well.
That's the truth too. It's a lot of stats there in that 1 year. Trevor, you also called me on the phone last night and you brought up that point, right, of Pettersson being more physical this time around in the preseason, right? And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I respect that. Even though he doesn't really need to do that at all, but I respect that he just wants to show the fans, the people. He wants to show them and put an end to the hate when it comes to his effort and that lacking, because I think he takes a lot of pride in supplying effort game in and game out. And yeah, we didn't see that in the second half of last season, but one of Pettersson's best traits is just that, his ability to try so hard. You want those dogs on your team. And for a guy that battled through tendonitis last year, right? Tendonitis. Me and Trevor, 31 and a half years old, tendonitis, 14 years away. I think so. He might have thought that, again, those proclaims against his effort level was not justified. It bugged him, and now he's in the preseason. He's just like, pushing the body around a bit. But you also did mention that. Is that a sign of him trying too hard? Can you elaborate on that? Because, you have a family. You have to get off the phone. You can't just be talking about the Canucks on a Tuesday at 9:30, on the phone about the Canucks. But elaborate on that.
It kind of stems from the fact that it's very rare that you see players play with that kind of intensity in the preseason. And, there was a glass half empty take that I had in my head about, is this guy already like stressing out and squeezing the stick too hard? Is that why he's throwing the body around in preseason? Is he just trying too hard to get himself involved in the game? But I think the glass half full approach, and this is what I believe more, is that coming into the season, you have a pissed off Pettersson. You have a guy who I think is hungry to prove the doubters wrong. And look at his track record throughout his hockey career, right? Playoff MVP in Sweden, comes in, wins the Calder. Dynamite in his second season, was really good in the bubble playoffs. And there have been some ebbs and flows to his game. And look, even to start the season here, I'm not quite sure if he's going to get off on the right foot, right? Because, I've had multiple thoughts about him. I've had multiple thoughts about him in the preseason. But here's the thing. Pettersson is a player. There's no way this guy is going to be bad for another prolonged stretch of games. There's no way this guy's going to be bad for 82 games. I think Pettersson, again, is one of the most talented players in the NHL. He's been one of the best even strength point producers in the NHL since he entered the league. Now he's playing with better wingers. And he's playing for a winning team. I think we're going to see the best version of Pettersson this year. And look, EA Sports, they kind of stole my thunder a bit. They were predicting that Elias Pettersson, based on their simulations, is going to finish 9th in the NHL with 109 points. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe Elias Pettersson can eclipse not only the 100-point mark, but the 110-point mark this season and perhaps enter the Hart Trophy conversation.
Trevor, man, can you just say that he's going to get off to a good start? Like, you need that energy out there, man. It's important to the swagger of the city and to him, and I just want him to ease into finding greatness again. Is that too hard to ask for? And, bro, Trevor, he's not Kyle Bound or Trevor Beggs, okay? He's Elias Pettersson. You know what I'm saying? He's got this. He was once the MVP, once again the MVP. He was supposed to be the captain. And you know what? Tendonitis, man. Like I said, Trevor, 44 and a half years old is just around the corner, bro. We're going to look back at this time and, the fact that we might be doubting Pettersson at the start of the season is, again, just that's not living with that West Coast bias. And it's not even living in reality. I mean, you're talking about 2 preseason games, right? His last 2 preseason games. I'm talking about it. And, you look at that play he made to DeBrusk on the overtime winning goal. I know it seemed easy, right? Little cross crease pass when we're right in front of the net. Looked simple, but the camera couldn't even pick it up. It was that quick. It was that elusive. It was that Pettersson. And then you look at that backhand pass he made to Susie, right? We're talking about 2 preseason games only, but I'm looking at those plays, and now you're talking about signs of his effort level being high. Just like, dude, he's going to be back, man. Straight up. ASAP tonight.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Again, on a game-to-game basis, it's hard to put too much stock into things. And maybe this is me, working in the monies in my day-to-day. You don't know what the market's going to do on a month-to-month, quarter-to-quarter, year-to-year basis. But over the long term, you believe in your research. You believe in the guys who know what they're doing. And speaking about tonight, though, I will say that Elias Pettersson obviously has had a lot of success against the Flames in his young NHL career. Had 5 points in 2 games against them to start his NHL career, and has 12 goals and 26 points against the Flames in 26 career games. This Flames team is nowhere near as formidable as it was in past years. So Elias Pettersson, again, over the first month of October, we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty confident he'll get off to a strong start tonight against the Calgary Flames. I want to shout out a comment quick from Red Risotto before we get to break here. And Red Risotto, he's got some critiques about the Canucks, right? He's a fiery guy, a fiery personality.
Yeah.
He likes that spicy risotto.
You don't want to run into this guy in the alley. That's what they say, right?
Red Risotto is saying that if Pettersson stays healthy and clicks with DeBrusk, Pettersson will do 120 plus points. That is the spicy energy we need here on Locked On Canucks. Again, the Canucks are going to need it. There's a couple other things that the Canucks season hinges on, and we're going to touch on that on the other side. But a big one is this Canucks team is not only just not winning the cup, but not going far in the playoffs unless they get one of the best versions of Elias Pettersson.
It's going to happen, and you need him to click with DeBrusk, sure, but you also need him to click again with Pettersson. Hughes and Miller. You know what I'm saying? On the power play, a lot of things do have to go his way for him to get back. But on that note, I just feel as if the supporting cast around him, not just within his 5-on-5 line mates, again, you're talking about the Hughes and the Millers, they want to be accountable. They want to get better. Tocchet wants to play more offense. And Pettersson, again, small sample size in the preseason. He looks good, man. And you look at what he did in games 5, 6, and 7 against the Oilers. Again, recency bias, West Coast bias. I'm going to use both of them there. He was warming up. So he's got it. Pettersson's back. The Canucks are back tonight against the Flames. Dude, I don't even know what time the game is. I feel like the game started for me at 9 a.m. and I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, the game is at 7 p.m. If you're going to the game tonight, our old friend Chris Faber is saying show up early because they plan to start some in-arena entertainment around 6:45 p.m. when most of us are still in the beer lines buying $20 beers. If we were doing a live event, Kyle, we would not charge $20 beers. We charge $2 beers, okay? More on that at a later date.
Apple juice and soda water? What? How do you... Yep.
More on that at a later date. All right. On the other side, let's talk about some other factors which the Canucks season hinges on. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We'll be back on the other side after we shout out our friends over at Gametime. Oh, baby, it's game time for your Vancouver Canucks. And whether you want to go to tonight's game, Friday's game, or another game later on this season, you know you got to use Gametime. I'll be using Gametime when I go put my butt in a seat and chug some beer and yell for the boys, okay? Because there's no other place you need to go to buy tickets than Gametime. They got that lowest price guarantee, so F the competition, man. Gametime, they are where it's at. And now they're stepping it up even further with a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets easier for your favorite live events. Gametime Picks, they filter out that fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets, all right? On that app, you got the Gametime Picks. They make it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever tickles your pickle. They got seat views on the app. They got the Gametime ticket coverage. And, of course, they got that lowest price guarantee. So make sure you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Go download that Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Canucks are back today. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime!
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks here at the Don't Doze Art Lab, here at the Locked On Podcast Network, here at Surrey, British Columbia, and also Vancouver, British Columbia. We are truly blessed to be living in the West Coast bias. It's in the air, and also living in a time, a October, a fall, where the Canucks are once again cool. Okay, definitely a more positive start to the season, especially when it comes to my experience with the excitement for 7 o'clock tonight than it was last year. I think there was still a lot of pessimism in me last October. I'm healing. Well, one day at a time. Therapy's expensive. Okay, I'll get there. It's all good. And my friends are busy. My friends are having kids now. It's like it's hard to get better. But it's easier to get better when the Canucks are good and winning matters. And this team not being satisfied based on what happened last season is so true to them. You can hear it. They're not lying about that, straight up. And it makes me excited for, again, the level of professionality and the, is that a word? And the increase in just everything, this desire to be contenders. I'm at a loss for words. I can't believe I'm here, Trevor. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm reflecting a lot, right? I just can't wait. I can't believe I'm here.
Here we are, Kyle. Again, we've suffered through a lot, and you suffered through a lot unless you just became a Canucks fan in the past year. But again, optimism is so rampant in Vancouver right now. I think there are some of us that definitely have that Canucks pessimism bubbling underneath us because we've seen so much failure, so much bad things happen. I was reading the Athletics confidence rankings in terms of, how confident fans are of their teams. And I think the Canucks were around 10th, right? Which says to me that although this should be one of the most optimistic fan bases in the league, there is still pessimism in this market. And I think the pessimistic commenter they used as an example said that, all these guys get injured because the Canucks were a pretty healthy team last season. And Pettersson isn't finding
Here goes Trevor, man.
Canucks finished the wild card spot. I'm just saying there's pessimism but built in all of us here for Canucks fans.
All I'm saying is we don't know anything. We don't know anything. I'm not talking about the future. I'm just talking about this recipe for victory, success, winning a Stanley Cup. And maybe, just maybe, again, the right guys who have won are in charge. And maybe, just maybe, the hockey gods are on our side. And we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And, bro, come on, guys being healthy, bro, our third best player, maybe our second best player. We don't even know when this guy's coming back. Thatcher Demko. We gone through it. We were injured in the playoffs. We lost Brock Besser and Demko. We've suffered it. Trevor, you don't have to keep spewing this stuff out here. We were healthy last year. All of our players played 83 games in the regular season. It's dude, maybe it's on our side, okay? Let's not put some bad voodoo out there, okay? It's going to go the other way.
Eventually. Yeah, I mean, come on. There's going to be ebbs and flows this season, but yeah, you got to love the core. You got to love the offseason additions. You got to love the coaching staff. There's just a lot to love on Vancouver. But as you said off the top, the Canucks season does hinge on what Pettersson does for your Vancouver Canucks. Kyle, What are some other things that the Canucks season hinges on here?
Dude, I can't believe that we did not spend more than 5 minutes talking about this player during like the last month of the Canucks season to start off this season, right? During training camp. And it's Jake DeBrusk. Bro, again, we went from Jake Gensel to Jake DeBrusk in a minute. I remember you calling me. I'm just shocked. I thought I was dreaming. It wasn't even on the radar. And to make things short, I don't got to go on a spiel about this again, but I feel as if this team, based on that contract, yeah, you could get value based on what he's given Boston in the past, but this team and Pettersson more specifically needs this guy to take another step. And let's see if he can do that, because he's been in the league for a while and he played with some of the best players in hockey already. So again, this season I feel as if hinges on DeBrusk being a way better player than the NHL thinks he is.
Yeah, I mean, Jake DeBrusk, 19 goals, 40 points last year, nothing that blows you away. And again, every day or so, we've talked about it before. I wasn't a fan of signing him coming into free agency just based on the inconsistency and the fact that he was probably going to command a hefty contract. But obviously, the Canucks management, they seem to be smarter than us, Kyle. And, the fact he's only making $5.5 million a year, he doesn't have to be much more than that, like 20-ish goal, 50-ish point guy. But he has the potential to be quite a bit more here in Vancouver.
He has to be more. Like, dude, we just spent so much time talking about Pettersson getting to 110 points and being a better player and how much help this guy needs. And, or like, how, it'd be nice to give your elite Mr. 11.6 center some good wingers or like some good offense around him. Like, dude, early on in this deal, we need Jake DeBrusk to play way above what he's getting paid annually. Like, we went from Jake Gensel potentially playing with Elias Pettersson to Jake DeBrusk. And I feel as if the conversation not that long ago was, the Canucks need a guy like that. Jake Gensel.
Yeah. Here's one of my bold predictions, and I'll chuck it out there now. I'm going to boldly predict that Jake DeBrusk leads the Canucks in goals. I'm not sure if he gets to 40, but I'm going to say he gets over 35 goals for your Vancouver Canucks. Brock Besser, he's got the potential to get 50. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. It's bold prediction season. I'm going to say Jake DeBrusk leads the Canucks with 39 goals this season.
Okay. I like that. I like that goal amount. I don't like what that does for this other statement. And this is, I don't even know if this is bold, man. This is UFA Brock, dude. Brock Besser's getting 49 and a half goals, and I'm taking the over. Do the math. Do the math, okay? Dude, I cannot wait to see Brock Besser play hockey this season. I feel as if he took such a step in his game last year, totally transformed the narrative, and I feel as if it's a blessing that he's a UFA going into the offseason, next offseason, because we just talked about it with DeBrusk. Like, you kind of still need players to play above their weight. You know what I'm saying? And Besser in the playoffs was such a prolific goal scorer. Like, they need that. They need that clutch guy. They need that consistent player. They need a guy that, again, is hungry for a new contract. And if you want to bring up the karma thing like you did a couple minutes ago with the lack of injuries the Canucks suffered, dude, Brock Besser, he has faced so much in his life. And the end of his best hockey season ever, the most fun that he had playing hockey, ended the way it did, right? Blood clot, blocking shots. I was supposed to be blocked. It's just fascinating. Like, he transformed it as a player, started playing more defense, gets his season ended by a defensive type of injury, blocking a shot, and that's heartbreaking. And I feel as if he's going to triumph and do something again similar to what he did during his rookie season, and that's put the NHL on notice.
I like it, man. A couple bold predictions. We'll drop a couple more on the other side. I got one or two more on my mind. Let us know in the comments or wherever you want to connect with us. What's more likely, Jake DeBrusk leading the Canucks in goals or Brock Besser finishing with 50 goals for your Vancouver Canucks? Kyle, I want to add one more note here about something the Canucks season hinges on. And to me, it's the ability to acquire another top four defenseman. A secondary one might be Carson Soucy because he's your de facto number 3. He's never been in that role before. I think you and I both believe he can do it. But to me, if the Canucks are going to make a push, a serious push to go play in the Stanley Cup Finals and win that Stanley Cup, they are not winning that Stanley Cup with the defense and a bottom 4 of Soucy, Myers, Forbort, and Desharnais. To me, the Canucks season and their ability to win the Cup hinges on them targeting another top 4 defenseman and acquiring another top 4 defenseman. And if you want our targets for that, again, make sure you go check out yesterday's episode or the clip from yesterday's episode on YouTube. boom, bam promotion right
Trevor
there. Let's go.
Beggs, man. Regular season shape, man. Playoff shape, dude. I didn't see that one coming. Call to action. Boom, bam. Unreal. And yeah, the real truth is that the Canucks, yeah, for them to be in contendership, like take the next step, that's what they need to do. And I'm really curious to see how much Alvin is willing to give up this year to get that. Considering a lot, right? Because the Canucks have given up already so much draft capital. And also they got, like, you never know what type of year Tom Willander is going to have, you know? Like, do you need to go all out for that guy for this season? It's a lot going on. A lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and we got a little bit more going on in this episode of Locked On Canucks, but we're going to pause here, take a break, scratch our sack. Well, Kyle will scratch his sack while I shout out our friends over at FanDuel. You know the deal, baby. October, it's the most wonderful time of the year because you got NFL, you got NHL, you got MLB playoffs, CFL stretch drive. Okay, I'm nerding out, baby, but no matter what tickle your pickle twice in 2 ad reads. Oh, baby, that is mid-season form. You can go check out that all on FanDuel. Get a big return on FanDuel. They are America's #1 sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on that same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Kyle, one more bold prediction. Hughes is plus 500 on FanDuel to hit 20 goals this season. So you bet $10, you get 50 back. Is Hughes hitting 20 goals this season?
Great question. You know what? He's doing it, man. I think he's getting 24, dude.
Oh,
I'm not doubting this guy, bro. If he wants it, he's going to get it. Like Quinn Hughes, you can't doubt that guy.
I mean, you think he's going to learn from his mistakes last season? You know, when he hit, he hit 9 against the Flames in late November, early December. And at that point, I remember doing the math on it for an article for Daily Hive, and he was on pace for 26 goals. Whoa. And he let us foot off the gas a bit, right? So I think Quinn Hughes is going to learn from that. I also like that, but I like the value on that bet, man. I think that's a coin flip, but FanDuel's giving you plus 500 on it. Again, wherever you're betting, make sure you go do so on FanDuel.com.
One love to Quinn Hughes, man. Can't doubt that guy. You can never doubt FanDuel. Ta-da! People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the energy on today's episode. Straight up, coming from the heart. And Trevor, it's nice that we're here. You know, I think we've dropped like 700 episodes in the past 2 years or 1.5 years. Real talk. And we haven't lost ourselves, man. It's all about being a fan, and being a fan in October feels right again. And again, just feeling blessed, man.
Feeling blessed, man. And again, feeling blessed not only to do this with you, Kyle, and to do this with the wonderful listeners here on Locked On Canucks. We love each and every single one of you. You guys are all beauties. You guys and gals are all beauties. But man, oh man, so stoked to be cheering for a good hockey team again, man. It's been a while, okay? Up until last season, it's been a while. Kyle, let's get to a couple more bold predictions, man.
Wait, I want to get something. I want to get something too.
Okay, dude, all right.
You plugged your last episode of Locked On Canucks. I want to plug something too, okay? Straight up, t-shirt store, open, link in bio, okay? Read a blog, buy a t-shirt if you want. Hey, design a t-shirt. One love to Infamous, man. Read the story. That dude is intelligent and a really nice guy. He is definitely someone who has the West Coast bias and somebody who is definitely taking care of his neighbors. Again, hit the link in the bio. And dude, I'll be talking about the Canucks after the game, okay? Not on Locked On Canucks though, okay? Hit the link in the bio, subscribe to the new YouTube channel, and I'll see you tonight. What am I going to do? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's up to you. Anyways, Begsy, what were you going to say?
There we go. All right, let's get to a couple of bold predictions. So in case you're just joining us or you skip through for whatever reason, I had Jake leading the Canucks with 39 goals. Kyle has Brock leading the Canucks, hitting the 50-goal mark for the first time in his career. We both have Quinn Hughes hitting the 20-goal mark. Man, oh man, optimism is alive and well in Vancouver. Let's get to a couple more here, baby.
Oh, I blacked out again, Trevor. You know what I'm saying? I blacked out again. I totally ignored everything you said because I'm just thinking about what's in front of us. Okay, not what's in between my ears. My heart is just thumping, bro. It's game time. And Trevor, are we stupid or are we dumb or are we just Canucks fans or are we right? Because I feel as if we're so optimistic and our #1 goaltender is like out forever. It feels like that. And we're going in with a guy who was our third stringer last year. What's going on here? Are we
Yeah,
dumb?
you asked about 4 different questions. Are we stupid? Yes. Are we dumb? Yes. Are we Canucks fans? Yes. Are we right? Sometimes yes, but we're definitely wrong a lot of the time too. Let's be real. And we're going to be wrong with some of these bold predictions, but we're going to make them anyways. Okay. One of my bold predictions is last season, the Vancouver Canucks finished with 10 players who had at least 10 goals or more. Detroit led the NHL with 13 players who had at least 10 goals or more. I'm going to say the Canucks, just like the Detroit Red Wings, finish the season with 13 players who end up with double-digit goals. I think all the 8 wingers on this team are going to get double-digit goals. Quinn Hughes is getting there as well. A couple of the centers are getting there. I think they're going to have 13 players at the double-digit goal total next season.
13?
Leading the NHL.
That's unreal, dude. Straight up, they might need 13 goals a game with the goaltending they have, bro. We don't know what we're getting between the pipes, man. Unreal.
Well, this isn't so bold, but I could see the Canucks kind of ending up with the kind of goals for goals against like the Oilers last season. The Oilers were top 5 in terms of goals scored, and they were about 10th in terms of goals against. I can see the Canucks being top 5 in terms of goals scored, maybe like 10th to 15th in terms of goals against.
10th to 15th in goals against. Damn.
And that probably means a drop in the standings, right? But this is still a playoff.
That definitely means a drop in the standings. Unless, again, the Canucks can outscore some of the potential hiccups. Again, it's not me being super doubtful. I'm just bringing it up because it's really interesting to be this confident when, Demp goes out. Like, so confident. And Trevor, like, again, he might be back in 4 weeks. He might be back in 8 weeks. He might be back in like 20 weeks. We don't know if he's going to look the same. Like, and I'm over here being so confident. I think that has a lot to do with, again, my eyes. And straight up, Artur Shilov's potentially the real deal. And Callum Sandu, one of the first fans of Locked On Canucks. Okay, this guy's one of the best commenters of all time. He told us to play this. Okay, Trevor. So can we just listen to this and then just talk about Shilov's?
Artur Shilov, man. Again, the guy has always stepped up in the big moment for your Vancouver.
I am Latvian. Artur Shilovs. Can he do it, Trevor Beggs?
Of course he can do it, man. Come on. That's what I was spewing about before you muted me, man. God damn. Artur Shilovs has always stepped up in the big moment. And again, for your Vancouver Canucks, we'll see how long Demko's out for. But if he is out for half the season or more, I can see Artur Shilovs being in the Calder conversation. Again, that's a bold take with the caveat in it, because I don't want to predict or guess how long Demko's going to be out for. But if he is out for half of the majority of the season, I think Artur Shilovs is going to end up in the Calder conversation and end up potentially as a Calder candidate.
Yeah, he has the talent for it. He has the coolness for it. It's the little things. It's the big things, the big moments in the playoffs. It's the little things. Him, playing so well in the scrimmage after the Canucks acquired our backup Lankinen, right? Then you see Shilovs play so well against Oilers during the last preseason game after, he kind of struggled against Calgary. They're just the little things, okay? I feel as if he's had opportunity to be knocked out. And yeah, there's some times where he slips, but his rebounding from something that didn't go his way is pretty impeccable for a young dude. Somebody who's suited to play in Vancouver. And I'm really, really excited to watch him play in net constantly because he's fun to watch as well, Trevor. Like, he's a reason why you go to the rink.
100%. And again, one of the youngest guys in the Canucks, but he's 23 going on 43, man. Maturity beyond his years. I got one more bold prediction, okay? One more bold prediction before we get out of here, okay?
Oh.
So your Vancouver Canucks, we all know the story of last year's playoffs, beating Nashville and then losing to Edmonton in Game 7. This season, they're going to face their division rival, the Seattle Kraken, in round 1. The Crackers. They get to round 1 against your Vancouver Canucks.
You can't call a hockey team in 2024 the Crackers, okay? You cannot do that. That is not fair to those individuals, majority of them Caucasian, who are playing that game, okay, Trevor? You got to fix your language, all right? calling them the Seattle Crackers. You cannot do that. That is crazy.
Oh my God, I meant crack and bones, man. Anyways, okay, Vancouver and Seattle in round one. Vancouver emerges victorious over their I-5 rivals. They face the Edmonton Oilers again in round two. This time, the Oilers win the division and have home ice advantage. But this time, it's the Vancouver Canucks exacting revenge on their Alberta foes, beating the Oilers on the road at Rogers Place in Game 7. Suck it, McJesus.
Damn. So, if Surrey had an NHL team, you'd probably call them the Surrey Dippers, right? I could say that. And you could say Crackers. That's the beauty between you and I, Trevor. Okay, we're so different, but we're so much the same. And it's the season, man. And you're talking about the Kraken. Maybe they're a new rival. Although I think they're just going to be bad this season. I feel as if they're going to be really bad. Something tells me, okay, and boring and bad. But you bring up the whole Oilers thing, and it's funny how October is here, but I cannot wait for October to end. And I know it's one game at a time, but again, I cannot wait for October to end because the Oilers are there in November, and that's going to be a fun time to actually be so engaged in a regular season game, a rivalry potentially, right? So again, it feels so new. It feels so fun, and I'm just glad to be back. We just ignored all the commenters throughout the whole episode, man. I don't know if you have time, if you want to run through some, but we have to do it for the people, man.
Yeah, let's get to a couple and then get out of here. Again, our fans are they're juiced up for the season. We got fans getting their balls waxed. We got fans getting things bleached. Someone with the morning wood. A lot going on here with the fans of Vancouver Canucks. Let's get to the boldest prediction I've seen though in the comments so far. Jay Schro, his bold prediction: Vincent Desharnais. He of 2 career NHL goals finishes the season with 15 goals. I think putting this guy in the net front of PP1. Holy smokes, man. This is surprisingly a less bold prediction, but Sticky Nicky with that sticky icky says just play Hughes 43 minutes a night. Problem solved. So there you go. Desharnais with 15 goals. Hughes playing 43 minutes a night. And finally, Red Risotto. He's jacked up today. Pettersson will score 40 this year. Aside from having his balls waxed, he also has Pettersson with 40 tattooed on his butt. There you go.
Yo, I think Red Risotto's from like Montreal or something. And he must have had the best poutine ever because he's so nice today. Again, we got to look after our neighbors. We got to be nice to people, nice to the people, nice to our people. And Red Risotto, man, I feel as if this is the nicest I've ever seen him. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Oh, I see. I know what you did, Red Risotto. I see it, man. Because this is some other type of behavior. Okay. One love, man. How about this? Mother Knucker saying that Begsy got muted for Mother Latvia, aka the Latvian national anthem. That happened a couple minutes ago. And if we started off with Pettersson, we might as well end it off with this. I think the second most important player this year is Artur Shilovs. Whether he starts 30 games or whether he starts 44 or 45 or 50, the fact that he may always need to be ready to give this roster really good goaltending, because I feel as if this team kind of, as all teams, they kind of feed off of that. You know what I'm saying? If Hughes, Pettersson, and Miller can relax more knowing that they got an incredible goaltender net, whether it be Demko or not, it's, again, something that there's a small possibility of, but I'm going to be watching for that. And if that can happen, again, I say it every time, man, your Canucks are stacked. Anyways, Begsy Bowen, doing our thing. The link's in the bio, the Discord, man, design a shirt, join the link in the bio or join the Discord. Subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Gonna talk some Canucks, talk some Vancouver at the end of all these games, okay? Straight up with you and you and you and you. And we're selling t-shirts, man. Hit the link in the bio, man. Begsy, do your thing.
Selling t-shirts because we love each and every one of you, whether you're an everyday or an occasional listener, first-time listener, a new subscriber, or you join us on the live show on YouTube. We love each and every one of you. Go Canucks, go, baby. Kyle and I got you covered, not just tomorrow, but every damn day throughout the season. But for now, we got to get the hell out of here. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Cal Bowen. Go Canucks, go. Canucks play Flames tonight. Let's go, baby. You've been listening to Locked On Canucks.